Hi everyone, welcome to episode 6 of opening traps which every beginner should know. In this episode we're going to be looking at the Queen's Gambit declined, and I actually want to cover a couple of common opening traps that everyone should know when you're playing this opening. So white starts out by playing d4, we have d5, c4, e6, the start of the Queen's Gambit declined, knight c3, knight f6. White now decides to play the bishop out to g5, and here black sets a little trap with knight b to d7, with the idea being that if white now looks to grab the pawn on d5, after black recaptures with the e-pawn, it looks like this pawn is on prise. So if white jumps in and grabs this pawn with knight takes d5, trying to exploit the fact that the f6 knight is pinned to the queen behind it by the bishop on g5, then actually black can reply with the shocking looking move knight takes d5, because after white grabs the queen on d8, black now has a counter check, bishop b4 check, and the only way to block the check here is with the white queen. So after queen to d2, black chops off that queen, king takes, and now king takes on d8. And if we do a quick material count, we can see that black has emerged with 3 minor pieces and white only has the 2 minor pieces. So this trap is known as the elephant trap. It's only one you'll ever fall for, maybe 1 or 2 times, if indeed you do fall for it. Hopefully with this video now, you never fall into this one. And coming back to this position here, instead of taking this pawn twice, you can simply proceed by playing pawn to e3 and now go on with the usual variations of the Queen's Gambit declined. And this starting position with the pawn on e3 brings us on to the second trap in the Queen's Gambit decline that it's good to be aware of. So after pawn to e3 by white, black continues developing with bishop to e7. We have knight to f3, castles from black, bishop to d3, pawn to c6, castles from white. Black now plays a6, looking to prepare c5 in the future but not give away this b5 square to white. White plays queen c2, further solidifying the grip over the e4 square. Black now plays rook to e8, also eyeing this square in the future. We have rook to c1, and now the knight jumps into e4. And there's a few different ways for white to play here, but if we imagine that white drops the bishop back to f4, this does actually set a small trap for black, and the trap is unleashed when black plays the move pawn to f5, further solidifying the grip over the e4 square. White now has the nice tactical shot, knight takes d5, and after pawn recaptures, the whole point of this is revealed. The bishop jumps in on c7, checkmating the black queen, which is completely boxed in by all of its own pieces. So a nice little trap, and one of the more unusual ones in the position. If we jump back here, instead of playing pawn to f5, black should play something more normal, like say knight d to f6, opening up the light squared bishop, also bringing this knight to bear on the e4 square and not weakening the king along this a2 g8 diagonal. So I hope you found this overview of these couple of traps helpful. As always, do like, comment, share and subscribe, and do let me know if there are any videos you'd like to see in the future, and I'll look to get round to making as many as I can. Thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you again on a future video.